What is up, everybody? We're going to be looking at basketball players, Hall of Fame basketball players to be exact, quotes that they have about Kobe Bryant, how they say he is in the GOAT debate. Kobe is in the GOAT debate. There's no discussion about it. You know, people leave him out of it. It's Michael Jordan and LeBron James, but Kobe Bryant is nowhere to be heard of. That is, whoever is saying those things, they have not watched Kobe in his prime. I grew up on Kobe. I've started watching him in 2001 all the way to retirement. And I think the misconception of Kobe is, you know, he's a ball hog, right? He's a shooting guard. He's supposed to shoot the ball. People don't get that, right? When he tore his Achilles in 2013, and in the last 3 years, so from his return to 2016 when he retired, he just wasn't the same. So people see that Kobe and they're like, yeah, Kobe's trash, or Kobe doesn't belong in the GOAT debate. Well, you're not looking at Kobe's entire career. So what we're going over today is quotes from ex-NBA players, Hall of Fame NBA players that are saying that Kobe is the greatest basketball player that they ever faced, right? So we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna look at some crazy Kobe stats that you probably didn't even know about. So let's get into it. The first quote we have is from Quentin Richardson, which a lot of you youngsters don't even know who that is, but he's an ex-NBA player. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he had many battles against Kobe, and I think he even played against Mike in 2003 when he was with the Wizards. Quentin Richardson said this quote, and it was pertaining to LeBron James. This was when LeBron James and the Lakers were losing to the Clippers a few years back, and Quentin Richardson says, "We know what Kobe Bryant would have did. We know what Michael Jordan would have did. That's why I won't mention LeBron in the same breath." So that's one NBA player right there, right? And then another NBA player, Caron Butler. He's an ex-teammate of Kobe's and an ex-opponent of Kobe's. They had many battles as well. He was asked about the GOAT list, and he said, "My top 3 basketball players, not in any specific order, but if you want to take it there, I can take it there." So I got Kareem at number 1, I got Michael at number 2, and then he says he has Kobe Bryant at number 3. And then under Kobe is LeBron James. This is Caron Butler speaking. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he was in the NBA for many years. And then next up, we got a Hall of Famer, soon to be, Dirk Nowitzki. So he says Kobe was probably the best offensive player or best player I've seen and faced. You know how many players Dirk has faced in his span, in the 21-year span of Dirk Nowitzki's career? He faced multiple Hall of Famers, right? He's saying that Kobe Bryant is the best player that he's ever faced. I mean, you know, you could look at a stat sheet all you want. You know, there's such thing as stat stuffers, which I think Westbrook is, I think LeBron is. Kobe was not. That's why Kobe didn't care if he missed a bunch of shots. He just wanted to win. If it takes him missing a bunch of shots, but they still won because he took that extra shot that won the game, then he doesn't care what it looks like on paper for him. But LeBron James will be like, I don't want to take that shot because I'm going to miss and it's going to make my percentage go down. And so I think, you know, LeBron's a stat stuffer, Westbrook, you know, Harden, there's certain players that do that. Kobe was not that, right? So this is Dirk Nowitzki saying that about Kobe. Tracy McGrady, he is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He said, "I played against MJ as a rookie, but going up against Kobe in his prime, in my prime, there's no doubt that he is the best player I ever faced." That's a quote from Tracy McGrady. an NBA Hall of Famer. Take that to the bank. We have another NBA Hall of Famer right here. His name's Tony Parker. You guys might know him from the San Antonio Spurs. He's won multiple championships with the Spurs. And beat Kobe in a few playoff rounds. Tony Parker was being interviewed in a French TV show, because he's French, and he said Kobe Bryant was the best player he's ever faced. And again, Tony Parker faced multiple great players in his span of his career, multiple Hall of Famers, and he's saying Kobe, he's picking Kobe from the crowd, and he's saying that Kobe's the best player that he's ever faced. But yeah, ESPN, other media outlets, the young generation coming up, you know, they don't even have Kobe in their top 10. That's ridiculous. Like if you don't have Kobe in your top 10, Jason Tatum said this. Jason Tatum said, if you don't have Kobe, Mike, or LeBron in your top 3, then I don't want to listen to what you have to say, right? So even Jason Tatum knows what's up. And it's important to get the views of NBA players, because they know more than anybody. You know, somebody that never played in the NBA, a sports analyst that never played in the NBA can say all they want, but when you get somebody who played 15, 20 years in the NBA and they're saying Kobe's in top 3 for sure, there's some weight to that. There's a weight to that quote. You know, here's another one. Dwayne Wade. He's saying Kobe Bryant. So Dwayne Wade was asked who's the toughest matchup, you know, like who's the toughest player to guard. He said Kobe Bryant, man, because he shot any shot he wanted, but he's so good. He has so much in his toolbox, you know, in his bag, like so many tricks up his sleeve. I'll definitely always say Kobe. Dwayne Wade, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Dwight Howard, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He said, I think Kobe is better than Jordan. Everything Jordan did, Kobe did it better. That could be debated. When it comes to Jordan, I have so much respect for Jordan. I have Jordan #1, Kobe #2. That could be debated as well. But in no way, shape, or form is LeBron ahead of either of those two guys, in my opinion. And then going off of what these players are saying, it doesn't sound like LeBron's ahead of those two guys either. They have Jalen Rose's top 10 players of all time, which, you know, I disagree with this list, but he has Michael at #1, Bill Russell #2, Magic Johnson #3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar #4, Larry Bird at 5, Tim Duncan at 6, Kobe Bryant at 7, Wilt Chamberlain at 8, Shaq at 9, and LeBron at 10. There's a whole bunch that I would change, but at least he has Kobe in there. ESPN had him at 13, which is what Kobe were you watching, you know? And we jump ahead. So there's some beef going on with Damian Lillard and Shaq, and you know how they're dissing each other in a rap single, and then Shaq came out with a diss, and then Damian came out with another diss, and in one of Damian's disses to Shaq, because Kobe never got credit for those, you know, those 3 rings that they won together. All credit went to Shaq, but Kobe, you know, was up there with Shaq, and he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. Well, Damian kind of brought that to light. Damian Lillard, he said, "No, you see my pockets deep, so you flexing ain't really a thing, bro. We both could be working at Kinko's, and Kobe won you them rings though." So even Damian Lillard knows what's up, right? And then just a cool little stat here. Only these players have reached 59 plus points at least twice in their careers. Kobe, I think, is at 5. Kobe has 4 60 plus point games and that 81 point game. And then another cool stat right here. So Kobe's scoring streak in 2007, when he was just going on a scoring rampage, March 16th, 65 points. March 18th, 50 points. March 22nd, 60 points. March 23rd, 50 points. And people still have the nerve to say that Kevin Durant's the best scorer of all time, or Michael Jordan's the best. I think Kobe has that title. He's the best scorer of all time. He could score anywhere, at any time, with whatever defender on him. It doesn't matter. Kobe's gonna score. Another one right here. 40 game tying go-ahead shots in last 10 seconds of fourth quarter / overtime, most in NBA during his career. Kobe has 40 game-winning shots besides that. So those are game tying or go-ahead shots in last 10 seconds. But when you look at the game-winning shots, Kobe has 40 game-winning shots. That's half of a season worth of game-winning shots. Think about that for a second. 82 games in a season, and he has 40 game-winning shots. Oh, I can't. I mean, what else is there to say about that? Look at this stat right here. Most 50-point games in a single season. So Jordan has 2 seasons where he's had multiple 50-point games. Harden had 1, Kobe had 2. Kobe had more than the other 2. You know, and then you look on the defensive end, right? Kobe is 12 all defensive teams, first amongst guards, and then 9 all defensive first teams, tied for most all time. So he doesn't even get the amount of credit that he should on the defensive end, which is crazy. And that's another cool stat right there, just showing, you know, most 40-point games, more 60-point games than big time players out there. We go to this stat right here. That's the amount of teams that Kobe's knocked off that has had a 50-win season or 50+ win season. So they had at least 50 wins or more. So they're in the plus column, and Kobe knocked those teams out of the playoffs 24 separate times. Most, you know, when you look at the list of the greats, he's at the top. And then when you look at you know, when Kobe was going through that time with Shaq, you know, where 2000 he didn't get credit for winning that championship. Then you look at the 2001 playoffs, look at the stat line. So one of the biggest myths in NBA is that Shaq carried Kobe. Shaq couldn't have won those championships if it wasn't for Kobe. So this is a perfect example. In 2001, total minutes played, there's a 3-minute separation between the two. You look at total points, Kobe has 1 point more than him throughout the whole 2001 playoffs. So he's gonna average 0.1 more than him because he had 1 more point than him. And they both combined made up 58% of the team scoring. Shaq ended up getting the MVP, but somehow people say that Shaq carried Kobe. Come on, look at the stats. Look at the stats. Does that look like somebody that was carried? You know? So you got to put an end to these myths. And this is a crazy stat. I wanted to add it in there. So all the people that you see on the left is all the players that when this stat was posted, all those players were working for TNT at the time. And all of them combined, 40+ point games combined, they combined for 104 40+ point games in their career. Kobe Bryant alone, 121 40+ point games. And people have the nerve to not even put him in the top 10. Come on, come on. Open your eyes. Open your eyes, man. And then these are just some fun stats before we wrap up. This is a scoring barrage that Kobe was going through. I think it was in 2006, which he should have got the MVP that year. Also the year that he scored 81 points in a game. But look at the numbers. November, he was averaging 33 points a game. December, he was averaging 32. January, 43.4 points a game. Who has averaged that in a month span? 43 points in a game. February, 28. Look at this game. So this is the 81-point game, second most all-time in NBA history behind Wilt Chamberlain's 100. But I think Kobe's was more impressive because he's a guard and he's playing in just a tougher league than it was back then. Wilt Chamberlain did it as a center and he was towering up amongst, smaller guys. It's easier to score. So I think Kobe's was more impressive. That's my opinion. Another Kobe stat: career high 62 points tonight, 5th most in Lakers history. That was before he scored the 81, obviously. But just another kind of sneak peek into just the scoring barrage that Kobe would go on a nightly basis. Another one, Kobe Bryant, 4th straight game with 45 plus points, probably in 2006. 41 points tonight, 15 for 26 from field goals. 26th 40-point game this season, Lakers record. And then last one right here, 50 points tonight. New Lakers record with the most points in a total season. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys. A few stats that get overlooked. I think overlooked is an understatement. These stats really do Kobe justice, but they don't get talked about a lot. So that's why I'm here. I want to kind of bring this to light and kind of, share some knowledge on the GOAT debate. Kobe's definitely deserving of that GOAT debate. I think it should be talked about more. Him, Michael, and LeBron. I don't even think LeBron's in the top 3 yet, but I think when it's said and done, he will be. But those are the 3 that I think deserve to be in the GOAT debate. And if you wanted a 4th, it would be Kareem. I don't think Kareem gets enough recognition as well. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for joining in and following me along this journey with my basketball YouTube channel. If you would be so kind and subscribe, that would be great. Hit the bell for all notifications. That way every time I post a new video, you will be notified. Thank you guys once again, and I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.